Hello everyone, welcome back to the Terps Esports stream. My name is Alex aka Gumi and I'm joined with
Quentin, aka Quentin Chardon.
And we are going to be your casters today for the Overwatch stream, obviously. We saw some pretty cool clips coming into the stream and we're going to talk about it a little bit. So it's just a bit of an introduction to not just our players, but like the team as a whole, and just like some really cool moments from the last game. So if you want to start us off, let's get into it.
Yeah, so the first clip you guys saw was from Pumpkin. Absolutely great Lucio. That beat that he pulls off just completely turns the tide of the fight. And he just goes in, and that Ram really thought he could stop things, but Pumpkin shuts it down. And then moving on to that next clip, we have Pumpkin just absolutely taking advantage of the other team and booping almost three players just off the map. And an absolutely insane double kill right there.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. And there's just something to say about surviving on Lucio and just being able to get those big kills and just put all of that value into a support. And speaking of value, let's move on to Speed, because that man does not miss a shot. In the clip you saw, he's getting 3Ks, 4Ks with Widowmaker of all characters, and Widowmaker's seen her fair share of nerfs with like the damage drop off and all this stuff, but Speep still somehow makes it work, just taking aggressive angles, killing that Pharah, killing the Mercy. No one would ever take that peak except for someone like Speep, and just he has the aim and the mechanics to back it up, and he's obviously just an amazing addition to this team, and he just makes it look so easy and so dominant.
Yeah, that absolute confidence in knowing that you can take those crazy angles because you are going to hit that shot. Just some crazy plays from Speep. And moving on, we have Jay Keesis on Cassidy. And very similar to Speep, he's just not missing at all. He is on the target. He is completely aware. He is seeing the enemy team and just absolutely rolling through them. And ending up with 3 kills in that play.
Yeah, it is just amazing what these boys have put together as a team specifically, and I'm really excited to see what we have going on today. But before we get into that, we actually have time for a bit of an interview. So we're going to call up Infectious, the tank player, or one of the tank players for the team, and we're going to cut to this clip real quick of our Twitter, little shameless plug of our Twitter, where he did some interesting things, but let's call him up front.
By the combo of Junker Queen, and now it's just Queen of primarily 98%. Is the rest even going to be able to touch after this? I mean, I don't think so.
Wow, absolutely beautiful, and there's Infectious. Absolutely not, Nebraska, you are not. All right, I am joined here by Infectious with his signature little thing. So I guess my first question is, what is that? What is the point of that? Is it just for BM? Is it just for for fun, or what is the meaning of that?
I feel like it was more so of like an inside joke between all of us. We all wanted to do something a little funny for the camera, make the show a little bit more entertaining, and just part of who we are as people.
Yeah, I can tell you it definitely made my job in the casting booth really entertaining. I was just a little bit appalled by whatever that was, but you know what? It made it to Twitter, so
of course.
Congrats. And just a couple more things I want to ask you. This game, you guys are going against University of Minnesota. How confident are you guys that you're going to win this match?
They do have a better standing than us, so I believe is going to be a good game. The past games that we've been playing, they've kind of been really one-sided in our favor, so hopefully this game is going to be a lot closer.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess jumping off of that, with the new patch coming out, I guess last week, I believe. What do you think of this new meta? Do you guys think that this is a meta in which you guys are strong in which you guys can roll, or is this something that you guys need to take a little bit more time to figure out?
I think this is a really strong meta for us. Unfortunately, my characters aren't very good, so I think Tony will be prioritized over me. But Tony's very good. Peaks rank 9, really good Sigma, really good Winston, really good Ball. Having all those characters are pretty good right now. So
I agree. Well, thank you for joining me up here.
Yep.
And we're going to cut to a break really quick, and then we will see you guys in the casting booth, where I'll be back with Quentin to start the game.
I think by the end of the season, now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Off game, or will Red turn things around?
Terp adventures take flight at Stamp. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body, feed your mind, feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform. Find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete, play, with wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAMP. This is the center for campus life, where Terp adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We are now in the booth. We're gonna be hopping into game here soon enough. Obviously, starting off on that King of the Hill map. But before we get into it, I guess I'll just ask you. We'll talk about a few things. So, like, obviously, new changes, new meta, health changes. Like, they've been out for like a week now. I want to say something along those lines. I don't know if you've played, but like, what do you think about them? Just like, you know what? Don't even talk about that. We need to get into the game. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we are in right now. Looks like UMD is trying to get the point right here.
A lot of stuff going on in the backside here, and JK's will take down that Moira on that multi-person
really focusing
dive.
that Lucio right there,
Yeah,
pushing in. We've got an interesting play with Tony on ball right now, really just pushing in and controlling the area a lot. And UMD takes the first cap here today.
Yeah, this is a really interesting comp coming out of Terps, where we're seeing that very, very low healing output, the Lucio and the Zenyatta, while the Gophers or Minnesota is opting for that Moira brawl. And honestly, I don't think you can brawl this kind of comp.
Speed just gets taken down. Yeah, very interesting plays. But here we see UMD just absolutely getting shredded right now, which can be part of a result of that risk they're taking with those lower healing supports right here.
Right. The UMD just didn't have enough time to get set up and look for a dive. And the Minnesota just decided to take that as an opportunity to just rush in and take out Speep. And it's unfortunate, but they still have more time.
Yeah, but here we might see some of that benefit, though, being able to dive in, having Zen there, being able to get some of those picks, and really make that flow of the game faster and easier to take back.
Back onto the camera here, and
Looks
where's
like
the game? Where's the game?
We got some issues. No.
We're having some technical difficulties, but I can kind of hear some of the yelling in the back. The fight sounds a little chaotic.
I can tell something's happening.
Something is happening. Something is happening.
Yeah. My guess is that there's some Overwatch, probably.
Oh, there we go.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right. We're back. UMD fighting to take that zone. But it looks like the Gophers got a really good hold right now. But we have Tony coming from that back trying to get the pick, and with that Sombra able to take down that Moira right there. And it looks like really focusing on that Sojourn, or at least just pushing them off zone and really poking at them is the name of the game right now for UMD.
Yeah, and UMD percentage ticking up on the side of the Gophers, and you have to start to wonder, maybe this just isn't the comp to run against the Gophers, because you can pick off the Moira, you can pick off the Lucio, but it doesn't matter if your entire backline just gets rushed down and killed, and you can't even sustain in the fight.
Yeah, that's the struggle we're really seeing right now, being able to get some of those picks, but ultimately just getting overpowered. But here we have Jake Keys is throwing that EMP, but getting countered by that Moira. Pumpkin with the beat, coming in, trying to save, trying to get that zone, because if they don't get that zone here, it's over. Ooh.
Sojourn popping the overclock is going to take out Speep, and it's looking desperate for UMD. Moose will get booped off the map, and Tony's just going to look for these touches, try to survive for as long as possible to allow his team to come back into the fight, but he's dropping low. Pumpkin goes down, Jakeesis goes down.
Ooh, Tony's down, and that looks like that's the round.
And it's back to the drawing board. Ooh, you have to wonder, maybe the ball wasn't the best pick there. Maybe the Sombra wasn't the best pick there.
Yeah. You got to look at those things. I mean, he was able to get some picks there at the end. Ball's a great tool to keep poking that zone and buy time, but, you can't really buy time if your whole team just keeps getting wiped,
Yeah, there's only so much a Zen can do if the Zen is dead, Like, what good is it?
Exactly, Yeah. You can't get those picks if there is, if there's no one else for them to focus on.
Exactly.
So we're going to see how UMD comes and faces that in the next round, how they, change up their team comp. Will we see something a little unorthodox, or will we see something a little more traditional? We're going to see how UMD really responds to that, because this was a very decisive round. I feel like they were really only to get around like 20-30%. So we'll see how UMD responds.
Yeah, we're going to see UMD actually opting for that sort of brawl, kind of Ramatra, Lucio, May comp with a soldier on the side. A little soldier on the side, and
Just a little soldier.
Just a little soldier on the side, which is interesting to say the least. You never really see soldier, and maybe that's why.
Yeah, just getting taken down.
Speed getting booped off the map, I believe, from that Lucio, and UMD is just gonna have to fall back here. Jaquizas will fall, and it's gonna be a full-scale retreat. See if they can even get out, but Moose will get walled at the very last second and staggered for the most part. But first fight down, and the Gophers will take control of the point here. UMD looking for a response.
Yeah, UMD really just getting pushed back here, and just really right now all they can do is wait, get that team back up, and push back through. But they're really getting a lot of pressure on right now, and the Gophers are really trying to capitalize as much as they can out of this situation. With the Ram just this far forward, got a real chaotic fight going on, and we have a Ram duel going on right now. But it seems like that the Gophers again are just going to be completely, absolutely pushing UMD out of this.
Yeah, Speep has been the one to fall in these fights so early, pretty consistently, and you have to think maybe it's something about that soldier, and the window's going to come out here, countered by the May Blizzard, Pumpkin falls, and there's just not enough healing without, with Moose frozen. It's just not enough healing to keep everyone up, and that's a full wipe on the side of UMD, and back to the drawing board once again.
Yeah, just getting overall kind of dominated right now, just getting so far pushed back. They're this close to their spawn, but they still can't even gain a little inch. So UMD is really going to have to come and push back on this next one. And what's really going to change things right now is the ult play. Because right now we see that May ult come out, and just using those ults to push forward, countering. They're going to have to counter this beep right now. And it looks like UMD is able to be gaining some ground. We're getting some kills, but we still might be struggling a bit on that heal side right there. But looks like UMD is able to overcome it and get the zone back. But right now we have 72% from the Gophers, so that's a lot that they're going to have to climb back up.
And that play is huge there from the Terps because they only invest Jaquizas' May Blizzard when now they have 3 more ults that they can utilize to win the rest of these fights. But the overclock coming out will get countered by Pumpkin's beat, and Tony's got this Ramatra ult at his disposal, and he will not use it. He'll choose to save it. Take down the enemy Ramatra. That May is isolated. She will get taken down as well. And UMD just biding their time, taking these fights as well as they can, as slow as they can, to make sure they can take up that percentage. And again, only investing 1 ult while Moose ticks up on that Baptiste amplification matrix.
Yeah, a lot of really quick counter play from UMD right now, taking some of the Gophers' strategies and using them for their own. And we've got a lot of ults here at UMD, and they are just going to use it to their full advantage. And that's where really things are changing in this fight, is that ult play, those investments. And UMD already has 2 more up, and even though after just using 1 are still tied with ults with the Gophers. So right now, UMD is in a good position, you know, taking control of that zone, and being so far forward and being able to choke them right now.
Oh, and look at this aggressive play coming up from UMD. They're going to use their window early and take out that Lucio. Mid-rotation, Moose takes out the...
Just trying to finish that Rams down.
And it's actually just perfect. UMD just seems to have woken up. They've drunk? They drank their morning coffee.
Something has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, UMD is back at it. They're maybe being a little sluggish in the first round, but here we see that just great team synergy that UMD has always been really good at. We've got the Lucio coming in, trying to get some cheeky capping, but really not going to be happening.
Tony's going to pop this Annihilation, but will it be enough to keep him alive? Speep is going to fall, but the B coming out might just save Tony's life. Oh, unfortunately, it's not enough to keep him alive. And UMD will fall during the last...
Overtime, yeah.
Yeah, during overtime. And now it's going to be almost a scramble for the point. There's 1 fight left that they can take as a team, and it's all relying on Jaquizas' May ultimate, but you have to watch out for both the beat and the window on the side of the Gophers. That window just going to be able to stuff a choke. They have to get through it without dying. And will they? They will wall off the Ramatra. The Mayo comes out. Will it be enough? Both support ults come out. And Jaquizas will fall in the madness. 4v5. 97%.
UMD's really going to have to try. They're going to have to play the point now.
Overtime is active. Speep is going to pop that visor, but he's being aggressively pressured by the May. He's going to try to get on that flank, try to take out the Bat, but the Batman retaliates at a perfect time. But although UMD answers back with 2 kills against the enemy supports. It's a madness right now, and it's a 3v3. May goes down, but Pumpkin needs to live. He will go down. Ramacha dropping dangerously low. He's going to have form. 2v2 on the point, but Tony will take down the Ramatra, and it's just the Sojourn on the point with the Lucio. Lucio's going to fall to Jakizis, and that Sojourn just being such a bugger on the top with that overclock, but UMD has got the point, and that Sojourn just dropping too low to contest, and UMD is going to take that round off the backs of Tony, off the likes of Tony and Pumpkin and Jakizis on that Tracer. It's just impressive team play all around, and
that was
we're in for a match.
Just a really, really great end to that round, you know. A huge scramble. We had that one last defining fight, and UMD came in at the disadvantage there. They had less ults. All they had was that Mei, and there was a beat to counter it and a window, but they came in, they stayed composed, they kept playing as a team, and they really pushed through into that zone, and just slowly wore down the Gophers, I feel like. And here we are in the next round, tied now. We've got a close game. We've got 2 solid teams, and I think they're both ready to put up a good fight.
Yeah, UMD running out here on their own Brawl Queen comp, and Speep gets the first pick in the fight, alone on the point, uncontested, just chipping down at this Moira. We'll be able to take out the Sojourn first, and it's going to be a clean fight for UMD. And Speep, with that first pick, we talked about it in the pre-show, that man just, when you need him the most, he will show up.
Yeah, his aim is, you can't leave him alone, and that really seems like what they were doing. They were just leaving him off to the side, so he just used that absolutely devious aim and just really chipped down their team there.
Yeah, it's something about this Soldier, I don't know what it is, but Soldier seems to be doing really well in the meta recently. Just maybe it's just his fast legs, who knows, man.
Yeah.
But he seems to be a pick that most teams are opting for.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can hit your shots, you get to that really quick. See, look at that, absolutely perfect tracking, that real quick takedown. Just, you know, Soldier, he's simple, but if you can play him well, he really is effective.
Yeah. Just absolutely beautiful stuff there coming out from the team. And it's looking good for this last point. I don't want to jinx things. Knock on wood.
It really is.
But it's looking good for this next fight. I mean, just look at the ult charges.
Oh yeah.
Gophers Queen has about 40%, while Tony is about 75. We're gonna see a massive ultimate bank coming out from UMD. And
UMD is close to having 5 ults here. And they've got a lot of percentage. Keys is coming in, and his Genji is just absolutely deadly. He just is very good at really synergizing with that blade, because, you know, it is a squishy character, but the damage that you can get with some real good team synergy just comes in there. So just some great plays by Jakizis.
Yeah, and now you look at the... I know I keep talking about it, but just look at the ult bank. 4 ults.
Yeah.
And honestly, the last fight of the match, and...
Ooh, Tony off the edge.
But the ultimate is just too much.
Yeah, too many ults. Not enough time for the Gophers, it looks like. And UMD is really able to take advantage of that. Really push him.
Wow. And the stagger on that Sojourn, you have to wonder... I don't think Minnesota has a touch. Just kidding, they got a touch. But the Lucio will fall almost immediately. Doomfist will be dropping. And Speep gonna take down this Moira with relative ease. And the beat just comes out as a finality. And just... Like, what is this comeback? I'm jazzed, y'all.
It is crazy. It is insane. They just are really just working together so well right now.
And it's all about just these... The Terps just... they know how to take initiative on these fights. Like, with the Queen ult, with the blade.
My. The juggle. Just absolutely showing off right now.
Juggle on him. Juggle on him.
Juggle on him.
Yeah, and so... UMD taking this first map with... Honestly, they looked lost on this first point here. They just looked so out of it. I mean, warm-up map, I guess, but like...
Yeah, a very not great start for UMD. But that second round, you kind of could see them like ramp up. They did not like how that first round felt. And you could tell, you know, the plays changed, their style changed, especially as they lost that first few fights in that second round. They really just we're not going to take it anymore.
Agreed.
And yeah, the absolute team play that you see once they really get into it, I feel like is the greatest strength that they have going for them right now.
Yeah, like something I commend these players for is that they just know how to combo their stuff. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that Jaquiz's blade was not alone. It was also it was combined with Tony's shout and Pumpkin's speed, and Pumpkin actually got a boop on the queen off the map there in that same fight. And then on top of that, just Kiriko Rush Visor just shreds people. They know when to use their ults. They know how to use their ults. They know how to combo their ults.
Yeah.
And it's honestly just amazing to watch unfold.
Yeah, they got that perfect recipe to take out as much value as they can, squeeze it all out, really make the most impact they can, and it is just a great thing to watch. And honestly, you could really see it in that last round as they just completely dominated. They didn't even really let the other team even touch the point much.
Oh yeah. And when UMD's on that front foot, they will make sure to keep that front foot.
Yeah.
Let me explain. That made no sense.
They're a very good team at really rolling with that momentum.
Yeah, there we go. That's a better way to put it. Yeah, rolling with the momentum, because as you could see, they used that queen ult first, and like, yeah, it got boobs off the map, but sometimes it's a mental battle. Sometimes it just rattles the other team, and they're like, "Whoa, I wasn't trying to fight right now. Like, can we chill?" At least that's my experience. Sometimes we get rushed into. I'm like, "Hey guys, can we?" I didn't want that.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't agree to fighting this early.
I didn't know we were fighting 2 seconds after I respawned, but okay. But once UMD sets that tempo, it's just easy sailing.
Just really pushing forward, maintaining composure as a team. You know, they saw Junk got booped off, still was able to hit a few people, and they saw the boop off, and they knew that they had to finish this fight now, or else that point could have been gone. So really, UMD just really knows how to push and, you know, really, as I said, play off that momentum, you know? And it was honestly a really great round for them. You know, not starting off super great, but you could tell as they got their mojo, they got, you know, more meshed into a team, that it really started to just become such a momentum-heavy battle.
Yeah. And I think what Infectious said in the pre-show interview, where he mentioned that these guys are good. These guys definitely, they have a better record than us. So they know what they're doing. And I think we're definitely going to see a really good match coming up. And I'm excited, not going to lie. Because we've only really seen like stomps one way or the other, you know?
Yeah.
I want to see it back and forth.
Yeah, it could be very interesting. I mean, looking at that first match, we had really a round and a half of the Gophers stomping, and then a half of a round, and then a round of UMD like really maintaining dominance. So it's really right now anyone's game, and the Gophers have shown that they are definitely formidable, that they know how to take down UMD, and that, you know, any little crack in the armor that they're going to be able to take advantage of. So it's going to be really interesting to see these next rounds, and hopefully we will get a pretty contentious next match.
Yeah. Next map, I think it is, I want to say it's Hybrid or Escort. I can't really remember which one. So that's like the likes of like Watchpoint Gibraltar, Kings Row, whatever. But yeah, I can't wait to see what these teams are going to pull out, because, I mean, as you guys saw, UMD rolled out on that dive comp thing with Sombra, Tracer Ball, Zen Lucio, which is pretty unorthodox. You don't usually see that all that much, but from what I know, they've been labbing that comp for a long time. And actually, we're going to see Circuit Row. So, oh wait, Circuit Royale. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
Escort, and it looks like UMD is going to be starting with the push. So this is going to be a interesting match to see. You know, Escort is really going to change that kind of dynamic of how they're playing against. You know, because it's not just one static point that you're really going for. You know, we're going to have to see how they deal with pushing forward, moving around, having different distances through spawn, and this game mode especially is very very momentum focused, you know. So we're gonna see how UMD really deals with that. And we've got a pretty traditional comp so far, and we've got Speep on the Widow, so watch out for some cool clips.
I can't wait to see this. Ooh. Okay, Speep. Oh. Okay, a little anticlimactic, but you know what?
We'll have some cool stuff.
Yeah, we'll definitely see some cool stuff. Maybe not like, you know. I mean, hey, if you're talking about cool stuff, look at the Sigma 1v1. Tony is just absolutely dominating, but the Hanzo from Minnesota will just take out 2 just like that, and you know what? That's just pretty Hanzo-esque. And
Ooh.
J-Keys is maybe getting a little overzealous there, getting taken down after finding that Widowmaker. And honestly, I think you just reset here.
Yeah. I mean, it's the beginning, you know, you're still close to spawn, you know. You want to probably reset, but Tony is really just, he is kind of being a one-man army right now, just trying his best to survive, and looks like we've got our backline coming up and supporting him. So it looks like UMD is going to be continuing this push right now, and the Gophers seem to be just really walking back.
Right. Yeah, this is honestly, yep, there it is. There's a pick from Speep. I was just going to say, this is kind of a comp where you have to rely on your DPS.
My God.
Oh my gosh, Speep.
There we go.
Clip it. Oh,
yeah.
Don't clip it. Okay,
there we go. There we go. Now clip it.
Yeah, now clip it.
There it is. There's the spray. He knows that this is going to be something he wants to look back on.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, from out of spawn.
That
from out of spawn.
Borderline disrespectful. Just
and
absolutely.
And you see when UMD sets the tempo.
Yeah.
When Speep is up in that front line, just in their faces.
Yeah, they get that. They get those picks. They started going. Look at it.
He's still going.
Like, what the? You gotta wonder, like, how does he just make this happen?
Yo, Observer, get on this Widow, like. Sorry, why not? I love you, but Speep is just absolutely dominating right now, and I mean, they may have used that the window to win the fight previously, but a random dragon, not gonna find much. You have to no swap as well.
Ooh, but then we've got the Flux coming in,
setting the tempo again, and
boom,
the
taking out
Sigma
their tank,
fall.
And then the dragon coming in, really pushing forward, just taking that space. That dragon really making that space for them to really get to the point there.
Yeah, that dragon was actually really good. It cut off the Zenyatta from the rest of his team, and he just couldn't get back to where he was safe. And so it just makes it simple for UMD to come through. And Moose, why are you over there? He's going to fall, but it's still a 4v5. And if I know this team, they can make miracles happen.
Yeah.
Oh wait, second place already capped. I didn't realize. Hold on.
They already got it.
It's a
looks
Z9.
like a bit of it. Oh, Speep trying to get those picks again. Just really watching. Almost. You know, if I was a Gopher right now, I'd be so careful. I'd be watching out. I'd be just all over every. Look at it. Like,
well, you wouldn't be a Gopher right now.
No, I would not be a Gopher. I would be a headless Gopher.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. They got to be just so careful of every little angle with Speep, you know? They just have to be on their toes, because any little point that he finds them not paying attention, just boom, gone.
And yeah, the Gophers they've thrown in the towel. They've just decided that maybe this Widow 1v1 isn't worth it. They've just decided to go to the Tracer, looking for any kind of contest on A, the cart, and B, Speep, and oh, it's going to be a fun 1v1.
Yeah.
But Moose being forced to pop the Transcendence just to live, but Speed still just murdering people. That's not the right way to put it, but you know.
tearing down that back line especially. And Tony there finishing off their supports. So really are just.
Well, I mean,
yeah. Well, he is kind of a lot more forward than the rest of the team, because he was the only one to survive that play there, but he was still able to really get a lot of damage in.
Yeah, and you know, that's honestly like the first cart stopping. That's English. That's the first time the cart has stopped.
Yeah, this is the first time, you know, we're really seeing some long-term, you know, stoppage. We're not seeing them park for a little bit and then move forward. We're really seeing some real contention here. You know, and that's typically the problem with these last caps, because you just are so close to their spawn. But here we have Jake Keys looking to make a change.
They tried to go after the Sigma while he was discorded, but they didn't find anything. But they have forced the Transcendence, and now Tony's Gravitic Flux is going to come out, and they're still hard focusing the Sigma, and he is just not dying.
Ooh,
and he finally goes down to Speep.
Finally, Speep just making sure things happen.
Oh, Jake Keys is just dashing around in the back line, and UMD will cap with 2 minutes and 21 seconds on Circuit Royale. And that's a damn good push.
Yeah, that was a really good way to end it. They've got a lot of time in case an overtime does happen. But, you know, that's the question. Will they let that happen? We saw some really great plays at the end there. You know, Speep just always just getting amazing picks. We had Jake Keys, you know, when you really let Genji get that kind of momentum with all those eliminations and dash resets, he was just unable to be taken down. And also a lot of great team play around, especially with those ults, and then Speep making sure that that Sigma gets finished off. A lot of just really great plays at the end, and we're going to see how they shift that to a more defensive approach.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say. It's just really, really dominant. Like, yeah. I think it's just a mechanical thing at some point. No shade, no shade, no shade. Absolutely no shade. But it's like, it's just a... You know what? I'm just going to stop talking before I, like, hurt someone's feelings. Because I feel like... Yeah. But one thing I will talk about, though, both these teams have a really good handle of when to swap. So Jakizis, you saw him swap off the Hanzo pretty quickly after that third point and went onto the Genji so quickly so that he could farm a Blade in about a minute or so. So... And then also the Gophers switching onto the Tracer when they couldn't win the Widow 1v1. And she had a pulse bomb by the end of that fight. Like, yeah. Both these teams just know when they have, to their merits, both these teams know what they have to do to win.
Yeah, just really working those swap plays. And it looks like that Widow is going to get a pick off of Jake Keys here. But we'll see if we have any counterplay coming from Speep.
Yeah, and just... You know, being forced back a little bit, but at least there's 2 phases of this first point, so we are chilling. We are chilling.
he just wants to let the other Widow know who is the definite Widow.
It's all about sending a message, and you know what? Maybe there was a message sent there about don't get cocky.
Yeah.
And Speep will get taken down, but he will serve as a what do they call it? Like a death rattle? I don't know. A catalyst into a fight win.
Yeah, you know, he didn't die for naught. He got some picks, and UMD was really able to push forward and win that fight there, which is going to be very difficult for the Gophers here because they need to really make sure that they're getting time right now. Because if they do get all 3, they also have 2 minutes to beat. So it's going to be very important for them to move as fast as they can right now.
Oh, Jake Keys is getting a little bit overzealous there. Twice in a row. He will fall, but UMD, this corner is just so easy to hold, and that's a 3-man flux in the back. But he will get rocked. That's so unfortunate, but it's okay because it forces the immortality field. But the window comes out and just blows Tony up. And there's honestly no counterplay to that if you don't have hands. And you know what?
No, there's nothing they can do right there.
I think you'll take it because at least you did better on attack than they did.
Yeah. They were able to get some time and slow them down a bit. Yeah, and there's still a lot of map to be played right now, and it looks like UMD is really going to be holding that second point, letting them get some distance, but trying to hold them here at this corner. And it could be what works out. We will see a little miss of a grapple right there, but that's okay. Still hits ahead.
Ooh, the deflect coming out from Jakis is crucial, and Speed takes that. Oh my gosh, this DPS duo is just crazy.
They look at him go like.
Oh my
Just the combo, the absolutely shredding. They know how to work together just so well as a DPS combo, and it is really putting the pain on the Gophers right now.
This is the DPS combo I wish I had in my ranked games, guys. Like, can I QND y'all? Is that possible?
Exactly. Like, they just are so effective right now. And look at him
little
using these little angles, but he got a little cocky and he got caught.
I honestly did not know you could shoot through that little peephole.
Well, seems like the Gophers did, and that really is what took him down there. Here with the Transcendence coming out, countering that ult right there, and trying to keep the UMD line at least at this point, so that they can really keep stalling. Because that's the name of the game right now. It's just stalling the Gophers as much as they can. And it looks like this is what UMD is really trying to do right now.
One last fight on this second point. And Speep does it again. Takes down the opposing 2 DPS. And
boom. Just absolutely taking
oh my
down.
gosh.
That's three in that group of
like,
5.
There's not even much to commentate. It's just Speep clicks heads.
Yeah, that's all there is. Ooh.
Ooh.
See, that's the one thing you got to watch out for, being a Widow player or being, you know, such a dominant player right there. Is you just got to be careful, because people are going to peek you. And sometimes you're not going to be the first to react.
Window coming out from
Jake Keezus. Ooh.
Oh! Sorry, I was a little bit stunned by that blade, and I couldn't really talk. Yeah. But Jakeezus will fall, but he's going to force out that Transcendence and the window, and Speep is back, and he takes down 2, plus the Baptiste, which is crucial.
Yeah, an absolutely crazy trade right there with Speep, and they are just going to take his momentum and absolutely destroy everything. I mean, look at that.
This is just heartbreaking from Minnesota. They had such a good advantage, and yet it's all for naught.
Yeah, they were really playing on that momentum there, and they were starting to make some chips in UMD, but it looks like that, especially those picks from Speep, you know, they just really weren't going to allow it.
Speep keeps hitting his head.
Yeah.
Oh my. Okay.
Oh, that BAP is...
Sorry, I said anything. Sorry.
Yeah. That.
Oh
Oh.
Oh my god. Clip it.
You gotta wonder how frustrating. Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, I know what I'm posting to Twitter, guys.
All right.
I know what I'm posting to Twitter.
Okay.
Oh my god.
You gotta wonder just how frustrating it has to be to play against him right now, because it probably feels like for those squishier characters, you peep for just the smallest amount of time and you're just dead before.
I would be screaming. I would be screaming at my computer, that's for sure. But Gophers, they're going to try to problem solve here. 35 seconds left on the clock, and they're going to opt for this brawl-style coagulation of things. And it may be enough, but look, this Tracer looking for the pressure onto Speed. But
yeah, that Tracer really just trying to, at least at most, distract him. But here we have the Flux coming out from Tony, and they take down the most important part, that Sigma right there.
Tony's Flux was so good there. He was able to just isolate the Sigma, and even though the Dragon Strike comes out, it's not going to amount to anything, and we're going to see a pretty clean win from UMD on Circuit Royale.
Right there, 3-1. 3-1, a pretty decisive victory. You know, it took them a little bit of time at that beginning of the defense, but they really just stopped them at that second point. And then their offense during that match was also just so dominant and forward. I mean, look at these shots from Speed. You just gotta like watch it.
Hashtag don't peek Speed. Hashtag don't peek Speed.
I mean, look at that. It's just absolutely insane. You know, someone watching here, I'm just so in awe, but I'm sure the Gophers are not very happy about those plays right there. Because it's just so hard to counterplay a one-shot, you know?
Yeah, it's just...
You're just done. You're dead. That's it.
You can play around walls as much as you like, but if you get stuffed in a choke, then what's going to stop the rest of the team from taking you out? That Widowmaker just puts like whether she's getting kills or not, she just puts so much pressure on the enemy team to just avoid her. You either avoid her or deal with her. And if you can't deal with her and you can't avoid her, then you're out of options. You're out of luck. So then, like, what do you do?
Yeah, we saw them, you know, switch that Tracer, try to get, like, just try to poke at him, distract him, you know, get him a little off his game. But, you know, it really, it did some, but it seemed to have not really fully pushed out Speep. He was still able to really get a lot of those hits. And I mean, as a Tracer, you're really working with just trying to be as unhittable as possible, but I guess that doesn't really matter for Speep.
Yeah. Even if it's just a body shot. Like,
Yeah.
just a warning shot. Just to, like, don't get closer because I'll take you out and then I'll kill the rest of your team too.
Yeah. So just honestly, like, a great win from the Terps there. Really playing together and showing off that team comp, especially that the DPS duo, Speep, Jay Keezus, you know, as they like work together, they really just are able to absolutely shred teams. I mean, look at that. Everyone's juggling now.
Yeah. Oh. He's only got 2 though. Is it really juggling?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, Pumpkin's gonna show us how it's done. Oh, just kidding. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Not too bad.
All right. I do like the matching hat with the the balls.
Yeah, the vibes are high, and honestly, okay. We talked about the DPS duo a lot because they were making the most flashy plays, but we still can't discount Tony on that Sigma.
Oh, yeah.
We still can't discount C3 on that BAP and Moose on that Zenyatta. Just Moose and Tony's teamwork, being able to constantly keep the enemy Sigma in check, honestly probably contributed to a lot of Speep's kills. Without that shield, I mean, what's getting in your way?
Yeah, I mean, really looking at that, like, I don't think Tony really died much at all. Like, every play, even if UMD lost the fight, he was the last one there. And that's really attributed to our support team there. And Tony really also took advantage of that. I mean, you could especially see that in that last play where he uses that flex to cut off the rest of the team, then takes care of the enemy Sigma, and then is alone with that Hanzo, and the Hanzo didn't even know. So, honestly, the whole team there just playing really well, playing into their strengths. And it's 2-0 for the Terps, best of 5, so this could be it. Flashpoint.
Flashpoint.
And Flashpoint is a very different and dynamic game mode, so things could be very different this round, and we'll see how the Terps deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Terps have just decided that they're gonna keep labbing that ball comp. That ball comp is not what was needed at that moment. They're gonna opt for the Queen, and we're actually gonna see a little bit of a swap. Infectious is going to be on that Queen, and Tony is gonna be on that Tracer. So, bit of a role change here, but I have no doubts that they'll be able to perform just as well as their previous members.
Yeah, I trust their judgment, and we can see some really interesting plays here coming from Infectious on tank.
I lied. I'm kidding. It was just a prank, bro. But yeah, we're gonna see UMD Tracer fall first in the round, and Pumpkin will fall following. Speep getting a kill on 1, but he will go down eventually, and you know, warm up round, warm up fight.
Warm up round.
Warm up fight.
Yeah, Flashpoint is just so different from the first 2 game modes that we saw, you know, because the point is so fast, the location is always changing, and fights are going to be just all over the place, and it's really just going to have to, it's really just challenging our Terps here, and they're going to have to kind of adjust the strategy to go with it.
Yeah, the thing with Flashpoint is, I mean, there's maximum 5 points that you can fight on. So, I mean, even if you lose the first one, you still got 2 more, and we're going to see UMD take another fight here, and it's honestly madness. There's so much going on right now, but Infectious is going to fall to the pulse bomb of the Tracer, and we're going to see an overclock come out as well, but Tony answers back with a kill on that Moira, which is crucial, because now Minnesota has no healers, and UMD might be looking at a possible recontest here as a full 5-man against Minnesota's 3. And yeah, we're going to see a full recontest here.
Yeah, and looking at those ult percentages, UMD really has that advantage right now and can really push in. So we'll see how they go with it. Here with the Curie coming out with the ult, and then Speep following it up. A lot of really quick, fast pushing plays, and it looks like they were able to take it, avoid the C9, and you know, luckily they got the zone, and we'll see if they're going to be able to finish off this first one. But the thing with Flashpoint is it's fast, you know? They could really, you know, get taken very quickly. But also, even if they do just get this first point, it doesn't mean too much, you know? There's a lot of games still to be played.
And here's the thing, UMD using 4 ultimates in that last fight. Only having Infectious's Queen ult, but he's dropping dangerously low, and he's going to be the first one to fall in this fight, and that's not what you want to see on UMD's side. Yeah, especially with that's your win condition, and Moose will fall shortly after, and it seemed to be crumbling a little bit on this first point, but warm-up point.
Warm-up point. Look, it's clear, especially at the beginning, that UMD needed to adjust to this very different playstyle of Flashpoint. And as you can see, that's what they started to do. They used a lot of ults on that second fight there and were able to get some place on that point. But I feel like right now they can just reset and go to this next point. And there's plenty of time to gen some ult right here on this.
Oh, Tony just... It feels so good to take somebody out as a tracer. 1v1 them in the back. And Jakeis's ult will get countered by that Queen ult. And the Queen ult answering back on the side of Minnesota is actually going to be massive here. And it's not looking good for UMD. Wade, that got flipped on its head really quickly. And that hurts from UMD. Getting the first pick and still losing the fight. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, that was a hard fight for them. They came in with the advantage there, especially with that momentum with that junk call. But it seemed like they were really met by the Gophers there. Tracer almost dying to the Moira ball there.
The funny orb.
Little funny orb, but luckily, you know, we have Moose.
Luckily. What will we do without him?
Looks like UMD's pushing in, but we've got that Moira ult really trying to force them back.
Oh.
Ooh.
Tony gonna be falling off the map here a little bit, but UMD's gonna just filter out. They're gonna be able to live another day. Oh, Speep.
Ooh, Speep.
Oh, so close.
Just barely. But it looks like UMD is trying to like reset back while still being able to poke a little bit. Just trying to build the team back up together again. And it looks like they might be able to do that. And we have Tony coming in trying to hit the side, but he's just taken out.
That is so unfortunate. And UMD, the only function this fight serves is to just draw out the ults that you don't want to see in the next fight. Speed using that ult likely to swap onto something else, and back to the drawing board for UMD.
Yeah, that second point really did not go well for them. You know, they started out in a lot of the fights getting some picks, getting a little forward, but it seems like the Gophers really are learning how to respond to UMD right now, and just kind of shifting the momentum back into their favor.
And actually, Speep not swapping off that soldier, I guess maybe it was just a bit of a rage visor, which, you know, like let it all out, bro. And we're actually see Tony opting for this May, which is an interesting pick. It's going to be a really massive wall, taking out the entire backline, but Infectious's ult is even bigger, finding 3 with a Dragon Queen ult, and finally, that will be a fight win from UMD, even though it cost 3 ults.
It did have a heavy cost, but it is a big win there, you know. Flashpoint is fast, you know. Getting that point for even a little bit is really a lot. All they're really going to have to do is win maybe one more fight. And they have time right now to kind of regroup. And we've got some poking there for the enemy Tracer and Lucio. We've got them coming in with the Moira ult. But looks like UMD is holding strong right now. Infectious... Ooh, Tony getting picked off right there. But the back line is staying kind of strong. Speed still living. Oh, just getting pulled back by that junk knife right there. And it looks like things just get turned around on them again.
And, UMD just loses in the neutral.
Yeah.
Only one ult being invested from the Gophers, and that will be that Coalescence, and that is a relatively quick charging ult, so not too bad. But the Terps coming up on 2 ults of their own, both are DPS ults, but you have to watch out for that Lucio beat and that pulse bomb.
Yeah, the Gophers have a lot of opportunity to counterplay right now. They threw that pulse bomb out, but it didn't really seem to do much. We've got Speed coming in with that visor. And it looks like they're really going to be pushing up on that point and getting a good amount of picks in. But that doesn't mean things are over. They still have... They're running back, but they are still able to get a little bit of damage in. But it looks like UMD is going to take that point back. And we're really going to gear up to see this next fight, because this is where things are really going to get decided for this point. Because, again, Flashpoint is just so fast that if... the Gophers don't get it, you know, UMD is going to cap that point, and
yeah, this is the last fight at this point, and 2 ults on both sides, both getting popped almost immediately, and that's Sojul. Only so much you can do, and Speed falls, and the Mayo is not going to find much because of the beat on the side of Minnesota, and UMD is just going to fall here super quickly, but they all respawn together, and 70%. It's going to have to be a mad dash for this point, but this is game point. This is game point.
Mm-hmm. If UMD wants to keep fighting this round, they're going to have to get there fast, but they do have a good amount of ults. They have the Curie ult, they have the Beat coming up, they have Junker Queen coming up, so if they can make it in time, you know, this could be a very interesting final part. But here, the Coalescence coming out, the Beat coming in to counter, Curie coming in, and the enemy Junk going in. Just a lot of fast-paced plays right there, able to pick off that Sojourn, get them out. There goes Infectious right there, and it looks like there's not much left that these Gophers can do. And ooh, Infectious really taking people out there, really just running through. Honestly, like one of the most fun parts about Junk, just being able to just slash and tear and get that momentum going. So it looks like UMD gets that point.
And that was really good on the Terps. You saw the ults came out, and honestly, it was a bit of desperation, but the Gophers used all 5 in those last 2 fights, and now barely any ults on both sides, really, except for Speep's visor, which is going to give them a massive edge out in this upcoming fight. And Speep on the flank, looking for one. He's not going to find anything except for the Queen. He's going to try to pepper her down, but he's going to fall to that Lucio, and that is just so unlucky. The one ult that you have just gets completely wasted.
Yeah, completely taken out right there. And it looks like
here.
The Gophers are going to be playing with that momentum, really taking things out, and are getting that point again to start. But, you know, UMD can still come back. They can still fight together. They're all kind of spawning together. And they've got time right now to regroup and push forward, but it looks like those Gophers are really going to be trying to just cut them off where they can right now and just make it so they don't even get to see the zone.
Yeah, I'm actually going to see a swap onto this Ramatra, and it's looking like a very traditional brawl. They know how to play this very well. They're going to wall off the Queen, try to take her down, but the Beat in response with the Sojourn ult, with the Pulse Bomb, oh, there's just so much incoming damage, and 74% Moose needs to hide. He needs to get this last contest. He knows this, but he's been spotted, and he's going to keep running. He's going to run as fast as he can. 85% and counting.
Oh, they're going to find him.
Oh, no, and it's looking like it's Jover.
It might be 95, 96. They really need to just get a little tap, but ooh, just barely not in time. And it looks like the Gophers are going to take this map. And now we're going to have a 2-to-1 situation moving into our 4th match. And like we said earlier, you know, the Gophers, they really can put up a fight, and we're really seeing that right now, especially with a game mode that is just so different from the others that really makes them switch up that play style. So it's been very interesting to see the Gophers really kind of move with that and also change how they change how they deal with the UMD right there.
Yeah, and it's very different to watch poke comps fight against each other versus brawl comps. There's a lot of nuances. I mean, obviously very different characters, but it's so fast paced. It's so hard to keep track of everything, and maybe UMD just, once they lost their footing, they just couldn't really get it back again, which is something we didn't see in the first map. But fourth map coming up will be a push map, I believe. Yeah.
Should be.
So we're gonna cut to a quick break, and we'll see you guys after. But push coming up.
Whether you're a new publisher or app developer, or if you've been around the block for a little while and you have your own ad ops team, Playwire is developing the solutions and products that are perfect for you.
RAMP stands for Revenue Amplification Management Platform. But really what it does, it helps you make more money per user, and it helps you simplify your business so you can just focus on what matters, which is making great content. So if you think about today's ecosystem, there's so many different pieces to run an ad tech platform.
RAMP brings the entire ad ecosystem under one umbrella. Everything from centralized ad unit creation to piping in those demand sources. We layer on a DMP, and we take care of your data privacy and consent management for you as well. We tie all of that together with robust analytics.
Playwire really offers our publishers two different models at this point. We've got the full service model where we come in and we cover everything. And there's now our new self-service model where you can come in and you can say, I just want Playwire to take care of some of these things for me. Another thing that we've had a lot of partners do with us in the past is say, hey, maybe I have a few of my own direct campaigns that I want to run. Or I've even got an ad ops team. I don't know whether Playwire is right for me because those people are doing a good job. We don't want to displace them in favor of Playwire. That's fine. We're happy to bring all the technology that we've put out there, but use it with your own team and with your own ad stack. What does that mean for you as a publisher? It means that you get to leverage all of the revenue maximization technology that we've got in place and still have all of the capabilities and all of the demand partners that you're used to working with. You can have your cake and you can eat it too.
We actually do things at such scale, right? We're serving 70 billion ads a month at this point. That's a huge benefit that we're passing on to the publisher.
Revenue intelligence marries human intelligence with machine intelligence. At its core, revenue intelligence is about taking all the demand that you're already getting and getting more out of it. We want to make it so that you're getting 10% more from your ad inventory without even worrying about who the advertisers are. It's based on us going in and understanding what are the places where we can put additional price pressure on. There's all sorts of situations like this where you can eke out little benefits and add them all up. You're quickly at a point where you are getting that 10, 15, 20% uplift on your revenue without having made any changes in who's actually doing the advertising.
Our DMP is built from the ground up to work in a cookieless environment and not use cookies to basically store, user behavior or anything like that. And it's built right into the RAMP platform.
We can tell advertisers information about user interests, but also user behavior, do it on a massive scale, do it in that real-time way that we also do with our revenue intelligence capabilities, and also do it in a way where we can leverage the size of our network. We're trying to do everything that we can to show you every step of the process of getting an ad onto the page. That means that we've got much richer charts and graphs, a lot more ability to look at a piece of information and drill down on it. Answer that question that maybe you didn't even know that you were asking. We're trying to make you think differently, actually, about your business, about how your business relates to advertising, and reveal all of that through the platform. So analytics are one big piece of it.
It's a constant evolution. We're constantly updating our technology. We're constantly creating the future.
All right, welcome back, guys. We took our little break, got some water, you know, talked to the players, and we are back on Coliseum.
We've got a push coming up.
And we're going to see Speep on that Widow once again.
Speep on that Widow once again. You know, let's see if we're in some picks. Tony with that Soldier seemed to be a popular pick today. And it looks like we're going to have a Sigma versus Junk match, which is probably going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Junkrat just... Or, sorry, not Junkrat, Junker Queen. Junker Queen just, honestly, really good because she can just run past the Sigma Shield, and that's just what happens right there. She runs into the team and just takes out Moose on that Zenyatta, and then things just kind of crumble from there. And yeah, they've just decided they need to swap. Speep has gone to the Tracer. Infectious is... Just kidding, he's not going to swap, but he might decide to switch over later if things continue to go south.
Yeah, and things with this push map are going to be very interesting because, again, similar to Escort, you know, the farther they get, the closer they get to the other team's spawn. And you really spawn so far away from the point here, so it's really hard to kind of build that momentum sometimes. So it's going to be interesting to see how they react to that right now. And it looks like UMD doing a good job of taking this, getting some picks, but it looks like both of UMD's backline, the support is going to be gone. They're really getting hit by that Tracer there. Oh, but Speep wins the Tracer battle, and it looks like UMD is able to take that bot, run him back, and hopefully run him a little more forward too.
And Infectious just being able to survive so long there on that Sigma. You saw he was just like, he was low, but he had the hands, and then he had his shield out in order to stop the Tracer from killing him, because if he dies there, that's a lot of momentum just like lost there from UMD. And now UMD's just decided to kind of give up this bot, and they're going to hunt down this Lucio. But Lucio's a slippery little frog, and he might not get...
Ooh,
just
he
kidding.
got stuck.
He gets stuck.
Good play by Speep
But
there.
on the front side of the fight,
ooh.
Infectious and Tony both go down.
Yeah, and that junk ult there really pushing forward, you know, taking it off that healing, getting some damage in, really caused UMD to kind of fall apart there. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, they spawn back in, and now they're closer to the bot. Let's see how they respond to this.
Coming in with a couple ults on both sides, and Tony once again being the first to drop. And Infectious, just, I mean, look at this pressure. Just
yeah.
His health is dropping, his shield is going down, he's getting knives pulled in, and Speep just like can't get out from all of the different angles that Minnesota is taking, and it's looking bleak on, well, not bleak in terms of ultimates, but bleak in terms of being snowballed.
Yeah, they're really getting pushed on right now, and the Gophers are really taking that distance. Ooh, and Speep getting taken down by the Tracer. Ooh, and they have the beat to counter that, but Infectious is still living. He's just got this amazing survivability, and looks like UMD is going to be using those ults to kind of push back and take that momentum back.
I believe there has been a total of 8 ults popped this fight, and only 2 people have died. But UMD deciding to win the fight, I guess. Just deciding to win the fight. But like I said, 4 ults used on Terps, 4 ults used by the Gophers, and I think that was only like 3 kills.
Yeah,
actually confirmed and actually found. And as you can see, that Tracer Pumpkin is going to get spawn camped, and Infectious perhaps pushed way too far up, and he will fall. Just
yeah, losing that tank early on is just such a devastating way to start a fight. You know, you gotta have that one that can stay out in front. Ooh, but Speep with those sticks, man.
Good stick, and the Kiriko almost goes down from that as well, but without that cleanse, cannot save the Sojourn, but it gives UMD a bit of an advantage for the time being, and taking advantage of it is going to be on them.
Yeah, and it looks like UMD is going to be, well, we have Infectious switching to D.Va, so they're just changing up their strategy a little bit, trying to get some of that push on, but the Gophers are really responding right now, just trying to keep them off and keep that distance that they have right now so that they can just get that little bit more. But it looks like UMD is really pushing them off. They've got that Lucio, though, kind of coming in and help taking down that back line. Speep and Tony falling.
Did Speep get stuck?
Ooh. Pumpkin taken down too, and it looks like UMD is really just going to be wiped out right now, allowing the Gophers to get a good amount of distance, and they're getting really close to that point. This could prove to be a very quick match, but we'll see, especially as the distance between the point and UMD spawn gets closer and closer. They've got a lot more freedom. The window coming up.
Good shots coming out from Speep. I mean, Tony, sorry. Tony, onto that Tracer. And another 4v5. That Queen will finally fall. Sometimes it feels like that Queen just never freaking dies. She's always alive, always with that self-healing.
Ooh, Tony trying to get that Lucio there. Yeah, Queen just a lot of survivability, a lot of self-sustainability. And so it's really hard to just kind of topple her down, especially when the team is really working hard to keep her up.
For sure, and especially with that Kiriko. Just so easy to like not miss your shots, but ooh, that is a very, very good stagger from UMD. And Lucio will be sent back to the long spawn, not even the close spawn. But the Gophers have decided to fight this anyway.
Ooh, throwing out that Kyriel, really pushing UMD back right here. But it seems like we've got the Transcendence coming in, preserving them, so they can keep that momentum. Queen gets taken down, and then UMD just really kind of playing with that momentum, toppling as many people as they can down right now, and just trying to get as much distance as they can because they have a lot to go through.
Yeah, oh, I think Speep was looking for the stick there, but he got caught. Oh, it's so unfortunate.
Yeah, now the Gophers are all open on that sight line, watching, are able to take down Pumpkin there. Tracer gets some damage on the Diva, trying to run away, but looks like Infectious might be able to catch him. Ooh. But Infectious is getting absolutely taken down.
Oh!
But is able to get the Lucio with that.
That is a blunder.
That is something. Will UMD be able to take advantage of that right now?
Oh.
Oh, Speeps gets taken down right there, but then we have Tony coming in with
what
the
a
visor.
DM. Blocks the pulse bomb and the visor. It's not going to find anything, but I guess you traded ult for ult, pulse bomb for visor. I don't know if I would call that a worth trade, but... And now we're going to see actually Pumpkin on this Ana rather than the Baptiste. And...
Yeah, we've just got, you look at the Tracer there right now is really taking care of UMD right now, really putting a lot of pressure on them, just able to like quickly jump in, grab some of that back line, grab some of that DPS and pop out, and they're really gonna have to adjust to that right now.
Yeah, and UMD just kind of trying to find an answer, trying to find this revolving door of heroes, like the mystery heroes actually. They're just trying to find an answer. Now on the Kiriko, now also on the Cassidy, probably for that Tracer. And getting held at this choke point, and Moose is going to fall to that Sojourn railgun. And it's just, like, it's just so oppressive. Sojourn is such an oppressive character. And again, Tony's going to fall to the same exact thing. But ooh, Speep finding that Tracer, finally. Winning the 1v1 in that regard. But the cart is so close to being full completion.
Yeah, UMD still just getting pushed back though, and they don't have much more distance to be pushed back to. That cart is just so close to that point. But it looks like UMD is trying to play a little forward right now, and the Gophers are falling back because they know that they can. They have the overwhelming advantage in distance, and there's not much time left in this match.
Oh no, and
yeah,
Gophers
Pumpkin and Tony.
Gophers using this momentum to just straight. They lost their members, but they hid in the middle, and they decided to just rush out at UMD, and it caught UMD completely off guard. Moose and Speep will be falling, and
the Gophers take it. They did it. They they took care of UMD right now, and are gonna have control of the push right now. And UMD really can't afford this right now. Like, they're not even pushing the bot forward because they know that they don't even need to. Because right now, all it is for them is playing time.
This is a sick strat where they just hold the bot underneath the bridge because they know that if they die here, it doesn't matter. They'll have 1, 2, maybe even 3, 4 more fights to take. but it's not. It looks like it's not even gonna matter as Speep goes down. The beat comes out with the Kiriko rush. In fact, she's looking for a big bomb. Not gonna find anything. Will squish the Tracer, but it's just him against all 4 members of Minnesota, and it's looking like a reverse sweep is now in the possibilities, and I don't like that.
Yeah, just the Gophers really taking this match with overwhelming dominance. You know, really just taking care of things, and it's a concerning look for UMD right here, because you know, UMD earlier was really taking the momentum, but it feels like that the Gophers have really adjusted and gotten a lot better at kind of dealing with UMD and then moving on to the play after that. And we especially saw it with those fights at the end. They really were looking at the next play after. They won the fight, and then they kept it in places like under that bridge. You know, they knew their objective, and they were aware of time a lot and were able to really build such a big advantage that UMD wasn't really going to be able to take it back. So just some really interesting plays from the Gophers right now, and a overall just very contentious match.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just the difference in fronting a, excuse me, a Zenyatta versus a Lucio. I mean, it's just tempo. Like, UMD, you can't really do anything if the queen is in your face, murdering you in a second, along with her team. And she's getting facilitated because of that Lucio. The Zen, sure, Zen is a really, really good pick right now. He's by far one of my favorite supports, to play with. And his orb does so much damage, but what all does it mean if you're dead? What all does it mean if you just get absolutely steamrolled? Like, nothing in the end. So UMD, their plan was to play back with the Sigma and poke, while Minnesota's plan was to rush into them and just take them out one by one. And in this game of rock, paper, scissors, Brawl usually beats poke most of the time. So you gotta switch. And they tried, but I think maybe swapping to Lucio was a little bit too late. And I know Moose might not be as comfortable as he is on Lucio as he is on Zenyatta, but at the end of the day, I think the team comp it wasn't made to fight against what Minnesota had.
Yeah, a lot of that, unsureness, that kind of just really not figuring out how to deal with things really kind of shone through that round. UMD really just switching things up a lot, but not quite finding that right fit, and not being able to really fully adjust to that change, and the different pace of the game mode and the different pace that the Gophers brought to this round. So it'll be interesting to see how things move on into this final round, because we are getting a 5-round game, it seems. Best of 5, 2-2. There's nothing left than this final game. So it'll be really interesting to see what both teams bring, and the attitude that they bring to this next round, because things are going to be really different, and this next match is going to be Kings Row.
Yeah, Scrims Row coming up. Everyone's favorite OG map. I've played this map countless of times in scrims and matches, and I'm sure these guys have too. And unfortunately, this is a brawl map. So we're probably going to see that Ramatro, probably going to see that Lucio, probably going to see something along the lines of Sojourn, maybe a Tracer, probably a May sprinkled in there somewhere. But again, Minnesota's brawl looking very, very strong, and UMD needs to find a way to answer back.
Yeah, we're probably looking to see a lot of these very typical lineups that we've seen earlier in these games. And, we're going to see how UMD deals with this. We've got a little bit of variety with Kings Row. We've got a point and then a push. So things are going to be a little different, and things could play into UMD's favor, especially as they have done well with more classic point game modes. Losing to those newer game modes like Flashpoint and Push. So we're going to see, how this kind of works for UMD. And here we see a lot of very typical comp right now, except for we've got Moose on Lifeweaver. We haven't seen that yet today. So it's going to be interesting to to see, you know, what goes with that. And of course, Speep on Widow. You know,
Speep, look, this is about as good as time as any, man. This is map 5. It's map 5. I mean, that's like, don't really know what else to say.
Map 5, it's the round. You know, it's your time to shine. You've got to push forward. You've got to, you know, get as much as you can in this time. Get as much time banked as you can. So this is the time to shine.
Yeah.
So we'll really see how this Widow works.
Trust. And you know what? He's probably swapping onto Sojourn. Yeah, okay.
Okay, now he's Sojourn.
Yeah, okay. Expected. But like I said, we're going to see that Mei. And they found success with this Mei earlier, but Pumpkin falling to that Sojourn. That Sojourn's just been such a pain in the side for so long, and she's been relatively uncontested.
And that Tracer coming in too, really kind of poking that back line there. And Speep getting taken out by the Queen, and boom, Sojourn finding Moose. Ooh. Things are not working out for this first fight here. Tony barely scraping out, but it looks like that UMD is going to have to just kind of come back together and get ready for this next fight.
And Pumpkin being the Lucio of all characters to fall first in that fight is just, it's interesting to say the least, because Lucio you consider to be one of those characters that has the most survivability, no? And Speep taking the 1v1, takes out the Tracer, absolutely beautiful limit testing from him, knowing that he can take that 1v1 with Pumpkin at his back.
Yeah,
and
looks like we're gonna get some progress here from UMD. And we've got that Junk really just pushing and using her survivability right now.
Oh, interesting. Kiriko ult coming out, and it's gonna get stopped by the Mei wall actually. Oh my gosh. I think she just threw it into the Mei wall.
Wow. That was a great shutdown there, and then that window really taking advantage of things. And it looks like we got the cap, and honestly got the cap pretty fast. So now they just have to push, and we'll see how things go for this push right here. I mean, this first zone that you have to push is much longer than typical because of the hybrid nature of King's Row. So we will see how they deal with this push right here. You know, UMD really needs to get as much progress as they can right now, because this is the final round. The name of the game is just doing as well as you can and getting as much. They cut off that Junk and then throwing that ult. We've got 3 ults coming out. Oh, wow.
There's so much going on, but the clean ult is going to be even bigger than the Blizzard. And it's just simple cleanup there. No beat from Pumpkin, just 4% off. That's gotta hurt.
Yeah. Ooh, and that Tracer getting a triple right there. And Sojourn taking off. Yeah, that Queen ult just so hard to deal with without something like a Kiri, because that no healing effect of it just really can be so dominant in fights like these, where it just moves so fast, and where just healing as fast as you can is so important. You know, you're really just able to shred through with that ult.
Here comes UMD back on the prowl, and they will take down the Queen.
Junk.
Good wall from Tony.
But a lot of good spacing. Catching that Lucio in the back, too. UMD gaining some momentum here, really trying to push forward on it. You know, Infectious just keeping people at bay, trying to get the cart as far as they can. And UMD has a lot of ults, but so does the Gophers. You know, we've got Window, we've got Beat, we've got Ramatra there. So it's going to be interesting to see this next fight. Here with Kiriko coming in, as well as Infectious ulting and that Beat for the enemy team there. And Infectious putting a lot of work in, but it seems like he's going to be kind of left on his own and just taken down there. He was able to get some picks, get a good amount of damage, but it's just so hard to, you know, really fight a full backline by yourself. You know, the supports are really so important on just sustainability and keeping yourself up so that you can fight again. So it looks like the Terps are going to be just kind of like pushing back forward and really just trying to make time back you know, they're close to the point, so they just want to win
Oh,
next fight. Ooh.
this 1v1, Speed's gonna lose it because of the overclock, but it's still possible from UMD. The B is going to come out. They're going to try to continue this fight, and they take down the Queen. It's a 3v4. And it's possible that this fight means the end of point 2 for Minnesota. But that Kiriko needs to go down, and she will go down. That's an amazing stagger. And I don't think Minnesota has the fighting power to contest this for much longer.
No, looks like they do not. And UMD really getting that. They got 3 minutes left to cap that last one. Really putting in a lot of progress right here. And ult-wise, UMD at the advantage with 2 very big ults, Window and Mei. So there's the window right there. Just trying to really get as much of a push as they can right now. Catch Minnesota while they're off. But it looks like BAP is going to get caught lacking by the Tracer over there. And that Sojourn really pushing stuff in. Ooh, great deny by Tony right there. And the Lucio gets taken down. But the Tracer's still poking from that back. And UMD really just trying to push forward right here, but getting a lot of that kind of like overwhelming force from them. But it looks like UMD is really going to push through. And the Mei ult countered by Junk, but Junk's down. They don't even care. Speep's overclock really putting in a lot of damage too there. And it looks like that Curie needs to watch out because UMD's really, you know, they're turning that corner and they're pushing a little fast. So Speep trying to get through that 1v1, 1v2 kind of situation with that Tracer there.
They know that the Tracer is a threat, and
ooh, that Soldier just picking off once again.
The way that Lucio is just able to run around, and UMD's backline is such an issue. It seems like no one is able to deal with him, and he's just being so slippery, making so many good plays. Being able to just boop Speep into the air, which makes it an easier aerial shot for that Sojourn. And then still get out and live, and then mess around in the backline again.
Yeah, those small little plays really being able to push UMD back very far and really lose a decent chunk of progress on that payload right there. And the Curiol coming out, really just trying to shut them down. And then the beat coming out though from Pumpkin. You know, really trying to just preserve as much as possible, but it looks like UMD is really going to be taken down a lot, especially with that overclock coming in, that Sojourn really getting a lot of hits. And a big problem coming in from that Lucio and that Tracer, just being able to get around them and really trouble that back line there.
Yeah, like you said, the Lucio with the Tracer is just such a deadly combo because you thought Tracer was hard to hit in the beginning. Well, try hitting her.
Ooh.
Oh, well, try hitting her when she's got a speed boost. And, yeah, the merit of that is being shown right here, where she's just dashing around in the back line, and UMD's honestly just being held in their spot, and now we've got 23, 22 seconds left on the round. And, whoa, guys.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be having one last major fight to really decide things. And we've got Moose changing up into that Moira. Infectious ready to come in. He's probably going to be ulting very soon. There it is. But here we have that counter from Junk. But he's really just trying to, you know, get as much as he can out of this. And he's really getting a lot of pressure. And they're able to move the cart forward a little bit. But they're still, you know, it's that back line really just getting taken down. You know, they take down that back line first and are able to then really focus on the DPS and tank there.
Grim looks from our players here. This is a hard nut to crack. Like, just think about it conceptually. Like, you're playing a rush comp, and you need to play quick. But when you play quick, you're leaving your backline behind to die. But if you play slow, then your front line dies because they just collapse onto you first. So you're stuck in this odd position of like, well, do we just trade backlines? Do we just, like, what do we do? And then also there's the Tracer and the Lucio running around in the background, and you don't know whether to focus on the Queen in the front who has got the Kiriko healing or the Tracer who's got the Lucio healing. It's like you need to commit to one, but if you do commit to one, they just slip away, and then the other group comes and kills you fast. So it's like, it's so tough.
Yeah, it's a tough situation for them to play around. UMD did buy themselves a good amount of distance because they got close to that third cap, the full points. They got close, but not quite there. So they do have a good amount of time and distance for themselves to really hopefully keep the Gophers at bay. But again, you know, the Gophers got that comp going. They're really flowing in it, and UMD has got that difficult task of kind of figuring out how to counter it without compromising another part of their comp.
I think the May is going to be an integral part of that. What they're going to want to do is they're just going to want to wall off the queen. But it looks like they're not even... looks like Minnesota... They said, screw main. We're going to go... Just kidding. They're going to go main. And in fact, she's getting hooked in here, dropping dangerously low. Now that they forced out that robot form, they just decided, well, we got what we wanted. Let's leave. And Tony, getting hooked in here under a lot of pressure, is going to live, but at what cost? And Speep so low, and he will just fall.
Yeah, and
the supports from UMD just under so much pressure, they can't keep everybody up. And that lets the Tracer just come in and get easy little one-taps. But she will go down. But I don't think that's the character that you want to go down. You want something more valuable, something more impactful, or something that'll get back from spawn slower. But UMD, oh, almost touching the point to get a second contest, but it's not meant to be. And even though they will take down 2, they will have to back up, as they have lost Moose on that Baptiste. And we're actually seeing Tony swap onto this Genji here, rather than stick onto that Mei.
Yeah, a lot of those similar problems really popping up. We've seen the Lucio and Tracer behind really, you know, really poking at UMD right now. And again, we see some of that come out here. And we'll see how this Tony change works out, because Genji is just such a dependent character, really is dependent on that back line. And boom, able to really take care of that Tracer, one of those bigger problems. Which is definitely a benefit of Genji, you know, that mobility, just quick, boom, gotcha, high damage. And it looks like UMD is really going to be capitalizing on this. Isolating, trying their best to isolate the Junk and being able to take her down.
Nice, that window might have been unnecessary, but Moose deemed it necessary to just pop that ult and to just make sure that that queen dies, because she is an integral part of this team. And the Gophers coming up on 5 ults, but UMD coming up on 4, and it's gonna be a bloodbath in this next fight.
Yeah, we've got a lot coming up here. The Lucio again just kind of like poking at them and pushing back. UMD gonna fly back rather than stay with some of those ults. Infectious really trying to catch it. Speed coming in with that overclock, you know, getting a pick or 2. And then that Junk all coming in along with that beat right there. Tracer kind of out of position, but able to come back. Looks like Infectious with the ult, really trying to make sure, but they are running away, and they just barely run out.
Completely negated. That's so unlucky. I would be tilted if I was him, but that's good, because that's a 5 ult trade for your 4, and Tony still has that Dragon Blade in his pocket. And here it comes. No blade to stop it. He goes in. Drops dangerously low, but he will find the Sojourn. Going for the queen.
Getting a lot of damage on that queen. And she is going to be in a dangerous position. And boom, yes. That deflect doing so much damage, coupled with Infectious in his Nemesis mode. Just really able to take care of that queen. And that's a great play for them, you know, taking down a lot of time without trading much distance. So a really good play by UMD there. And that's really what they got to focus on right now. That window getting prepped to be put up, and we'll see. Boom, window in. Speep getting a pick. Just really kind of keep the pressure and keep control, because they just need to run down that clock as much as they can without letting them get to that point.
Nice, nice, good proactive ult usage there. They saw. I think, honestly, maybe like even one character peek out of that choke, and they just popped the ult and blew them up. And that's exactly what you need to do, because then you can snowball that into even like bigger leads, staggers, whatever. And Gophers still lack the ultimates that they need to get back into this fight. And Terps coming up on that beat and overclock. It's looking good.
Yeah, things looking a little better for UMD right now. The Gophers going under that 2-minute mark. UMD really just trying to keep them pushed around. We've got a lot of that UMD going around and just poking at them. with just really the eyes on the point right now. They're just playing around the point, you know, just kind of keeping them at bay. And it looks like Tony's going to take down that queen right there, one of the biggest parts, you know. Ooh, put Moose taken down by that Sojourn. You know, but we've got Speep getting his ult up, Pumpkin with ult, Infectious with ult, Tony close to ult. It's going to be an interesting next fight. You know, the Gophers may have won that one, but UMD will probably be able to stop them before they get to this next point, and that's going to mark about a minute left. And with this many ults, that's going to be an extremely contentious and important fight because that could be the deciding factor.
If they can get all 5 here and back to a recontest, it's going to be absolutely amazing. And the Kyriga Rush is going to come out.
Ooh, and
but UMD just decided
right
to walk right into it. And the overclock comes out, but Speed falls to the pulse bomb. And the beat comes out from the Gophers. But Tony's Blade, there is no beat for it. And he will take out 2.
Oh, looking for that third one. Oh, that
nice
absolutely
deflect.
huge deflect.
Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
Tony.
But UMD really...
Wait, what happened?
Getting just... They made that momentum, but they didn't have a lot of that sustainability to go with it. And, you know, it really came to punish them in the end. But they still were able to stall a good amount of time, and there's only 2 minutes left for the Gophers to get to basically full cap.
A good amount of time and a good amount of ultimates. As you can see, the Gophers have absolutely nothing to go off of. We're seeing
window goes
deja
down.
vu. Window goes down, lots of pressure, and UMD's rushing into the place where they just
Take
forced.
out that junk. Ooh, the Kiri falls. Ooh, looks like UMD's really going to be putting a lot of pressure on them. That Tracer's still able to get a little pick here and there, though. But they're really going to want to take her down. And boom, there she goes, Pumpkin. Always with just great awareness, you know. Just being able to come in right behind him and go, boop, you're gone.
And now this is looking towards like last. This is the last fight, like last fight territory. This is 2 last fight territory of the game, of the match. Period. And UMD not many ults to show for it, except for maybe Tony's Blade.
Tony getting taken down, a lot of health, but he'll just straight back up. We got Speep looking to get some good damage in. That pulse bomb coming in, but not really doing much. You know, Speep really getting a lot of that ult percentage up pretty fast. Tony getting close to that Blade. Speep's already got his ult. Just quick.
Speep's ult is going to be absolutely huge here, and he goes down first.
He goes down.
That's not what you want. And in fact,
that Curie ult really just pushing in. Really pushing in and going down. But here's the thing. Is UMD right now has 2 ults, looking at a third, maybe a fourth, and still has time to come get them. They just need to make sure to spawn up and really go forward on this and really just push in.
This is the last possible fight of the game.
Speep trying to get that Tracer down. Oh, that
Tony coming out with the Dragon Blade, but the beat coming out. He will take down 2, but the Dragon Blade trying to find a response. And it's a 3v3 right now, but they C9!
C9!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
And it is just pandemonium.
Oh, the point just forgotten about. The junk just off, just everything coming in for the most chaotic end you could ever ask for. Just an absolutely crazy end right there. Really just showing the importance of recognizing what is you know, the objective, what you're looking at, because like sure, surviving, playing for cover is good. You know, trying to preserve yourself is great and all, but you preserving yourself for what?
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like especially we saw that junk in that back corner really ending up kind of 1v1ing Tony while the point was sitting there going down. You know, tunnel vision, definitely an easy thing to get, but you just really need to focus on that awareness there and just remember that always the most important part is the objective, the point. You know, you got to stay with it. And so just a really chaotic and interesting end to a very contentious match there.
That fight honestly could have gone either way. If I remember correctly, or if I was watching correctly, I believe it was a 3v3 with a Sojourn overclock on the high ground for the Minnesota. And I think Infectious had his ult, so a Ramattra ult as well in the mix, and it was just so chaotic. And it just goes to show that in the chaos, things can go unnoticed, even the objective. Like, at the end of the day, guys, this is an objective-based game.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you have nothing else other to say, I mean, I need to go sit down after that. I am sitting down, but I need to go take a break after that. Like,
yeah.
Whew. So if you have nothing else to say, yeah.
It was just a really crazy match. Just such a crazy end. Yeah.
Yeah. One last once-over of our players, and as you can see, their reactions just, it's so good to feel larger than life.
I could tell you hearing them, they were going crazy. They could not believe.
We can hear them through the door.
And, yeah. It just, such a crazy end to this just very contentious and close match here.
All right. Well, it's been Alex, aka Gumi, with
Quentin Chardon.
And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.